Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K&B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios, and welcome to the Sexy Ninja Cast. I know this drops every Sunday, but this one's a special Sexy Ninja Cast for y'all. Exclusive. Not really exclusive, but I am on my way. You can hear in the car. I am on my way to go see Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm very excited. I also got some tissues because I know I'm going to cry. I always cry. Like last night, I rewatched Spider-Man No Way Home, the extended edition. It's on Stars right now. Originally, I was going to buy it on Vudu, but I saw it on Stars, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I could save me $15, you know. But I watched that movie last night, and right when Aunt May dies, all the way to the end, I just had this, like, I wanted just to bawl my eyes out for Peter. You know, I just felt this, you know, yes, it was fun seeing Toby and Andrew and all the things I love about that movie, everything. But at the end of the day, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I felt so bad. Just like, damn, dude, you just lost your family, your auntie. You know, now you got to lose the love of your life. You know, it all culminates to the whole fact that you are making the ultimate sacrifice, and everyone doesn't know you. You know, all because Mysterio's punk ass had to put you out there like that, you know. And it's such a fun movie, but it's so full of heart. It's my favorite of the Holland movies. Homecoming I thought was okay. I really didn't like Far From Home, but No Way Home, man, it hit a lot of the feels inside. I didn't realize how much, like, I was just watching. I just put it on because I was like, oh yeah, hey, I've been wanting to watch this. You know, I didn't get to go to the movie theater to go see it. And just right when Aunt May dies, I was like, damn. And like, I was holding back, man. My daughter's looking at me. She's like, little punk ass bitch, crying? Huh? I ain't even crying. But she even said, though, while sitting there, she was like, you know, I don't like this part. I hope they change it. Because she knows we're watching a different version of this movie. And it wasn't really like, they didn't change the story or outcome in any way. These were more like deleted scenes that were put into the movie itself. You know, we got a little bit more interaction between Andrew's Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. You know, a little bit more interaction there. A couple things I felt like, yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what? I like this. I like this cut, but I'm good with the original cut. The extended cut just seems like some deleted scenes that were just thrown in just to be thrown in. But there's some funny stuff, though, especially in the interrogation scene when they get Peter and everything like that. We get a little bit more Matt Murdock, that I can tell you that much. And not a lot, but I was like, oh, hey, Matt's back. That's awesome. So, but, you know, like I said, a lot of deleted scene stuff. There was one where in the interrogation scene I was talking about where he goes, and you're going to tell us about the night monkey or whatever from Far From Home. I started laughing. I was like, yeah, cops are stupid. But if you get a chance, go on Stars or go buy it. I know it's on digital right now everywhere. You can get the extended edition of Spider-Man No Way Home. But I'm not talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. We're talking about Black Panther, baby. Wakanda Forever. Finally here, you know, the debut of Namor. And, man, a movie that's going to probably just hit all the feels just because of Chadwick Boseman, you know, rest in peace. You know, I remember when I heard when he passed away, I think we were watching a wrestling pay-per-view or something like that, and soon as, like, as Big Daddy, like, called me, and I was like, yo, you okay? You know, because usually he doesn't really call that late, but he left for the pay-per-view. He usually texts me like, hey, I made it home and whatnot, you know, I'm safe. But he called me, he's like, yo, dude, Chadwick Boseman just passed away. And I was like, what? You know, I was like, what the fuck? What? You know, and I looked it up, and yeah, right there. And it hit hard just because as an actor, as a human being, he is a true superhero in all those aspects, man. And like, it definitely was one of those things where it hit hard. You know, it's T'Challa. He's our king. He's gone. So this movie's going to deal with that. From everything I've seen, spoiler-free reviews, this movie is a huge homage to Chadwick and to T'Challa, and it's just crazy. This is only the second movie of the Black Panther movies, but that first Black Panther movie was so fucking fantastic from Ryan Coogler, and I listened to it. If you can, there's a podcast out there. It's the official Black Panther Wakanda Forever podcast, and it's just this great in-depth interview with Ryan Coogler, and he talks about the day he found out. He found out before TMZ broke it and all this and that, and he's like, no, it can't be, and hearing him, before he even said anything, I can hear him choking up and stuff like that, and it made me choke up because, Chadwick didn't tell anybody. They didn't tell anybody he was sick. Only the people who knew, his close family, and he had to, hold this burden inside of knowing that he is dying in front of us. And when Ryan found out, and he's like, yo, he was what? And then he goes back, he says, I was thinking about it as I went back to the filming of that movie and thinking of I was making him do all this type of crazy stuff. But I'm seeing the man die in front of us. Now that I look at it from that perspective, he goes, it's such a good interview. You should go listen to it right now. Ryan Coogler just seems like a really down-to-earth dude, and all the pressure he had making that first movie and everything. And I've been listening to the soundtrack to the movie from Kendrick Lamar and everybody that contributed, The Weeknd and stuff like that. And it's such it's funny is that soundtrack for Black Panther, the first movie, is a soundtrack that I listen to a lot. It's one of my go-to albums. Everybody has a go-to album, that's one of them in the pile. It's if I'm feeling this way, feeling like that, because I connected with that first Black Panther movie so much as somebody who is indigenous, somebody who is of somebody who's not basically white. Let's put it that way, because the aspect in the starting of the movie, when they go to Wakanda for the first time, when they enter Wakanda and they're like, we're home. And I thought of my ancestors and stuff like that, and I was like, yo, man, how dope would it be? That's home. That's where, that's where everything's at. And that's the way I kind of look at the reservation at this point. When I go home to Shiprock, New Mexico, I feel it might not look great to everybody else, but it looks fantastic to me, man. As soon as I see that Shiprock Rock, I have that moment where in the movie from Black Panther when they're like, we're home, and I just feel at peace with myself. I enter, and when we go, and I can't wait when we get back for Thanksgiving on my birthday. But that movie just hit me in so many levels, especially Killmonger's story. Killmonger's story is tragic, and what he says in the end, I'd rather die on the ships, drown in the waters and stuff like that. I can't say the quote exactly, but I have that quote around here somewhere on a piece of paper because it's so impactful. That first Black Panther movie is dealing with T'Challa becoming the king after his dad dies and everything like that, and he has to come to grips with it and this and that, and then everything with this movie, we're gonna it's gonna be weird because it's just yeah, he's gone, and they're not really gonna explain, maybe not, I don't know. After I come back, we're going to stop this podcast, and then it's going to be 2 hours later. Then I'll be back to tell you what the movie is, and I'm excited. I'm excited just because that first movie is so great, and the challenges of Ryan Coogler doing a rewrite, because he said he finished this movie, he finished the script, the first version of the script, a couple weeks before Chadwick actually passed away. And he was so excited about introducing Namor because he's a big comic book guy. He's a huge comic book guy. And this is one of those things where something they talked about during the first movie. They're going to introduce Namor, king versus king, king of the land, king of Wakanda versus the king of the sea. And it's crazy, dude. He says the version, his story with T'Challa was him coming back from the blip, him dealing with being gone for 5 years, him reconnecting with Wakanda, reconnecting with his people, and this is him dealing with that after the blip, being gone. And I was like, oh man, I would love to see that story. But now we're going to see somebody else take the mantle, and I'm already guessing who it is. They kind of gave that in the trailer, the second trailer. Like, I always felt like that moment where Black Panther jumped down, I felt like that was a moment that should have been left out of a trailer. That should have been a theater moment, because they really haven't had really huge theater Marvel moments since Endgame and No Way Home. There wasn't that, like, oh my God, you know. I didn't get that in Love and Thunder. I didn't get that in Doctor Strange. You know, like moments like I remember in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, in my review, I was like, if I want to make this room cry and make everyone be like, oh, it's where Wanda is seeing Wanda, and, you know, the kids and stuff like that, and that version of Wanda, the mother is like, they'll be fine, I'll take care of them, just know that I'll take care of them. And I was like, just Paul Bentley's voice, you didn't even need him there. You could have heard the door open, and you could have just heard Wanda, you know, and Paul Bentley's voice, and that room would have fell apart, because she would have just looked off, you know, Wanda looks off screen, and then that's the tear-jerking moment, and I wish we got that, but we didn't. So, and I know this movie should have those moments, and I felt like that moment where the Black Panther came down, superhero pose, in the second trailer, I was like, oh, I really wish I saved that for the theater. You know, I should just stop. I should just be like Big Daddy. Stop watching movie trailers, because they're showing too much lately, and it's annoying. But I'm almost to the movie theater. I'm probably going to wrap this up right here just so I can get my cup. I got my candy, my good old red vines, and then I'm going to get my popcorn, extra layer buttered, with a little sprinkle of salt, and a cherry Coke with light ice. The last movie we went to was like a week ago with my wife and our date night and stuff like that. And as soon as I was like, I walked up, the lady was like, I was about to say my order. My wife's like, he wants layered popcorn, you know, extra layered, and he also wants a cherry Coke with light ice. And I'm like, hey. And she's like, you order the same thing every freaking movie, big head boy. You order the same thing. And I do. It's my tradition. Like, once in a great while, I'll grab a hot dog, or maybe I'll grab the cinnamon burgers or whatever, you know, but it's just one of those things, like, I want the traditional snacks. Like, the movie theater is next to the comic book shop is my other church. And, you know, I'm very serious about, I get there like 45 minutes early, even because like my movie's at 10:45 and right now it's 10:02. And I like to get there early. I like to settle in, you know, assigned seats or not. That's what I like to do. I like to get there, sit down, get myself collected, then go use the restroom if I need to, because I ain't getting up after I sit down in a seat and when those, because I hate going to the movies with people who, like my parents. My parents drive me crazy because they're always like rushing to the theater or doing this and that. And I'm like, yo, I'm going there an hour early. We're going separate in different cars. I will be there, and you can get there when you get there. Love you, Mom and Dad, but come on. We take this serious around here. So, all right, y'all. Well, I'll be talking to you in a bit. And here we go. Black Panther. Wakanda forever!
2 hours later.
Man, oh my God. I love that movie. I teared up just thinking about how that ended, man. Chadwick, you forever miss. You are T'Challa. Wakanda forever. I just got done seeing it with Doug and our buddy Cody and everything like that, and I'll have a few spoilers. You know, I think this movie is something you need to experience yourself, you know, and walking into this movie, and I need to see it again because at the end of this movie, I was like, all my emotions were drained of happiness, sadness, everything was just out there, all the characters, and this is Shuri's story of her becoming the Black Panther, you know, and saying goodbye to Chadwick and to T'Challa. To the same was the mission and goal, and I felt like it succeeded on so many levels in rebirthing the character of T'Challa. And all the aspects, the tone of the movie, the way everything flowed, I felt like it just all worked so well. And after I can't wait to do the review for with Doug, like a full blown review, because I'm still in like shock. Like, I wasn't expecting to feel like this after seeing Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This is why we chose to go on a Monday. This is why we chose, like, let's skip the opening weekend. We can wait. And now that I've seen this movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, man. And I'm glad, I'm very happy I didn't have a packed movie theater. I think this movie is one of those things like you need to experience and in being focused on the screen, and it starts off with saying goodbye, and in such a heartbreak way, I automatically started tearing up, and I felt so bad. I was like, damn, but it was beautiful at the same time, man. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. Holy shit. This movie is an experience within an experience, and it gravitates about lost, and finding yourself when you lose somebody that's so important to you. And that was Shuri. You are on this journey with her who is trying to find, the light. And there's a moment in the movie when she decides to finally be the Black Panther. You get something totally unexpected. And like I said, I really don't want to drop any spoilers, because this is more just my reaction to the film itself, because I feel like you need to go. Like, I know when we did the Black Adam one, we talked all the spoilers, but this is just, I don't know, man. It's really hard just to, like, nail it down. I'm emotionally spent, my eyes are all glossy, and and usually I wipe my tears away, but I didn't. I just let the tears fall, and great action too. All the actors were top notch, man, top notch. But does this move the plot forward for Marvel, which I was saying a lot of these movies haven't been doing lately? No, it's its own thing. It just feels like its own thing, There's no end credit scene, but there is a mid credit scene that pushes the Black Panther story forward. There is that, but it doesn't push the Marvel universe. And I feel like, as much as I bitch and gripe about that, as much as I was like, oh man, these movies aren't doing this, and I felt like it was okay with this movie not to, because this was about the Marvel universe, but we got introduced to Namor, and I love that actor. Like, I can't think of his name right now, but him as Namor was awesome. Like, that dude is awesome, man. I can't wait to see more of Namor in this universe, and in seeing where we're going now, knowing that Namor's out there. And I wonder if he get his own movie. Probably not, because I know that he's one of those characters that's like the Hulk, is bound by Universal. So in order to use this character, you have to have him in a separate aspect, because it's not his movie. He's the villain. And yes, I'm not saying this was the most perfect movie ever. Like, there was points of like, okay, oh sure, kind of gloss over that. I'm not saying like this was the most brilliant movie of all time. This was the most beautiful movie to a character that the world has grown to love. And then you have to say goodbye, but you get reintroduced back to the character and why you love the Black Panther. So, shout out to everyone on this film. I know it was probably hard. And just that opening sequence, man, I can't imagine them filming that and just, like, not crying at certain points and had to get themselves back together. And seeing Wakanda again, like, going back to Wakanda, it felt right. It felt good. It feels like home in a lot of aspects. It just, it was just dope. Like, when she's like, hey, Queen, we're home. You see Wakanda, and it's just one of those, like, mystical moments of just beauty. And yeah, some people might be watching and be like, oh, this movie's bullshit, whatever. No, Not me, man. Not me. I walked out of this thing just in awe. Just in awe. Like, pure, like, usually me and, like, right when the credits start rolling and we watch the mid-credit scene, usually me and Doug, while we're sitting by each other, we start talking, like, hey, what'd you think? Hey, what'd you think? And he can be, he's witnessed, I didn't say anything. I was just sitting there like, I witnessed some art. Like, filmmaking art, and my feelings, and saying goodbye, and feeling like I really did say goodbye, and I could let go. You know, that was, I think that's the overall message. Yes, there was some cool action scenes. There was some cool this, there was some cool that, but I got to say, no, I didn't get to say, but I kind of, like, we got to say goodbye. And Chadwick will live on forever. And I can't wait to have this movie at home and I can watch it and just look at all the cool little things. M'Baku, man, you fall in love with more M'Baku. Like, and yeah. So, at this moment, if I'm rating this movie right now, out of my feelings and out of what I'm feeling, it is a pure solid 10 for saying goodbye. And, and it's funny, it's like, that will probably change. But I will say, out of these movies, like, after rewatching No Way Home, I said this in the beginning of the podcast, after rewatching that movie just emotionally just hurt me. Like, and this is the same thing, but it was a good hurt. You ever watch a movie just to throw on just because you're like, man, I just want to feel something? And that's what Wakanda Forever is. And it's an experience that you need to go experience, man. So I give it a solid 10 right now. There's some things that in my brain I'm thinking of, but I'll save those for the review. An actual full-blown spoiler review with Doug, and me and him can battle out, because we were already battling it out. Like, we sat in the car for a bit, and me and Cody, and we're talking, and, he has his things about the movie. And I was like, well, no, not really, so I can't wait to have that conversation with Doug. But, yeah, if you saw the movie, if you want to write a spoiler in the comments, you're more than welcome. But I'm feeling, as of right now, I don't want to do that. I think you need to go to the movie to experience the movie and embrace it for what it is. And damn it, Ryan Coogler. Yeah, so solid 10 as of now. But after that, like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember, Wakanda forever!
Welcome to the wicked shit.
Oh, yeah.